All right.
Yeah,
So
that's
just
it.
breathing into the nose, in through the nose and down into the belly. Just trying to keep your attention on the breath. You can think of the following: breathing light to breathe right. And if any thoughts enter your mind or a distraction or a sound happens around you, just notice that and then gently come back to the breath. And then when you're ready, you can either open your eyes or you can keep them closed. We're going to start by taking the left ear down to the left shoulder, stretching the right side of the neck. And during these neck exercises, and really throughout the rest of the exercise program today, I want you to see if you can maintain a gentle focus on your breath. And now back to center and to the other side, the right ear going down to the right shoulder. And back to center. Now looking down to the ground, tucking the chin, stretching the back of the neck. And back to center. And now we're just gonna look slightly up. If you have any pinching or anything like that on the back of your neck, just be mindful. But just taking your neck, looking straight, just looking slightly up. And back to center. All right, next let's strengthen the neck by taking the chin straight back. So we're gonna give ourselves a double chin by squeezing those neck muscles just like this for 3, 2, 1, and release. Good. Taking a breath, and on the next exhale, squeezing those neck muscles, holding that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Good. Again, taking an inhale and an exhale. And I'm just going to demonstrate this way. The neck goes straight back. On the next exhalation, squeezing those neck muscles, strengthening the neck for 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Good. All right, let's roll out the shoulders. Rolling out the shoulders. Reverse those shoulder shrugs when you're ready. Ooh. And now let's open up the arms a bit. And we're all going to be at different levels here in terms of your range of motion. But you want to go through your full range of motion. So if that's just down here, or if you have a bad shoulder, that's also totally fine. And you can reverse those arm circles, starting nice and big, and then slowly going a bit smaller and smaller and smaller. So you're just doing little ones. And you can reverse those, go in the opposite way. And now just freestyle. So however you want to roll out the shoulders, go for it. All right, maybe do a little backstroke, a little front stroke, a little breaststroke, butterfly. All right. Next, let's reach back and come in for a hug. And reach back and come in for a hug. Stretching the chest, stretching the upper to mid back. And every time you come in for a hug, see if you can swap the right arm on top and then the left arm on top so you can get a stretch on the shoulder as well. Still being mindful of the breath when possible. Trying to still breathe in through the nose and down into the belly. All right. Just gonna slide this way just to demonstrate this. Gonna interlock the fingers behind the back. Sitting towards the middle of your chair then, and stretch the chest. Now, if you're not able to do this, you can also just reach to the back of the chair and hold like so. And I instantly feel like my mood enhanced. Whenever I do this, I puff my chest out. I always feel a bit like more optimistic because of how body language can really affect our mood. And when the shoulders roll forward and I'm hunched over like this, you just kind of feel lousy. So this is why I just love this stretch, is it helps correct posture, it enhances mood. And it's just a great one to do after you're sitting for however long that we sit every day. Excellent. Next stretch I want to do is the lower back stretch. So I've got a chair here, just in case my mobility might not be that great. You either reach to the top of the chair and put the arms between the head, or let's say you've got a desk or another size chair in front of you that may be a bit lower, and you've got the mobility to do so, reaching out forward to grab that chair, and then leaning into this stretch. Ears are now in between my shoulders. I'm getting a great shoulder stretch. I'm feeling the stretch in my lower back. And let's see if on the next exhalation you can just get just the tiniest percent, maybe 0.5% deeper into this stretch. Maybe you're holding on to a really heavy table and you can just give the most gentle pull on that object. Again, this is another way to help elongate the spine. And then just slowly, as if you're coming up with one vertebrae at a time, gently coming back to a good seated position. All right, great. Now that we've stretched the lower back, let's strengthen the lower back. And we're going to start by sitting in the middle of our chair. All right, hands crossed. And we're going to slowly lean back in that chair until we eventually come off the ground. Knees may come off the ground, and we touch the back of the chair. I call these the rocking chairs. And then we slowly come back forward. It's all about controlling your movement here. And if those are too easy, I want you to move up a little bit in the chair. If those are too difficult, scoot back to the chair to make the angle a bit less intense. So I'm going to move up slightly. And again, just lean back nice and slow, making sure that I continue to remember to breathe. You never want to hold the breath. And slowly coming forward again. Good, it's a good warm up, and maybe that's as intense as you need to make it for yourself. But this next variation is a little bit more difficult. I'm gonna make sure that I'm just sitting on my tailbone. If you have any lower back strain or anything like that, sitting on your tailbone and sitting closer to the chair may help on this one. So again, crossing the arms, and slowly leaning back, super slow. And then once you're back here, if you can pedal the knees just a little bit. They don't need to be, doesn't need to be crazy in terms of the range of motion with your knees. And just breathe in through this one. And I want you to just go to until you feel that 7 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. Not a 0 or not a 10 out of 10 where you can't do any more repetitions, but a 7 out of 10. Continue in the breath. And then slowly, whenever you're ready, coming back forward. Let's do one more of those. And taking a breath whenever you're ready and you're feeling comfortable and recovered. Crossing the arms, slowly leaning back. And then pedaling the feet. If you really want to challenge yourself, you can try to do just the mini double leg. Just little tiny ones. They don't, those feet, when they're together, they don't need to come up too much. Or you might feel it a bit in your lower back there. So we're just trying to strengthen it here. You can either pedal the feet, do the double knee lifts, or you can just continue to do the rocking chair at this point, where you're just coming up and going back. Just gonna finish out a few more knee pedals and then slowly coming back up. Whew, it's a challenging one. All right, next let's stretch out the hamstring. So I'm gonna scoot up towards the front of my chair now. My hands on my hips and as if I've got a string coming out of my head, standing up or sitting up nice and tall, leaning forward with the chest, feeling the stretch along the lower leg, the back of the leg, down into the calf. And let's switch out those feet. So like we're doing a little dance. Going left foot in and right foot in. Toes pointed up to the ceiling so I can feel that calf stretch. Good. Try to breathe into this stretch as well. All right. A few more here. Excellent. Next, we're going to work on the ankle. So we're going to just point and flex the foot. Just pointing and flexing. Strengthening the shin muscle here in the front of the leg. You want to just, so it's not as boring, you can do left, right, left, right. Pointing, flexing, pointing, flexing. And now we can go inward and outward, inward and outward, inward and outward. Just trying to strengthen the whole area of the ankle. Good, and now we can do some circles. You can do some, one going counterclockwise, one going other way clockwise, just to challenge yourself a little bit cognitively. You can try the figure eights. Just whatever it is to mix it up so that it's not as dull, I suppose. All right, good. Let's stand up and we're gonna strengthen, pop up on our toes, all right? Strengthening the calf. Ooh. Good, maybe you wanna rock back on the heels. Challenge yourself with a bit of balance. You can have your chair there, just or something to hold on to. Good. And now let's go up on one foot. All right. Just going up on one foot, do a few calf raises on the left foot. Then you can switch to the other side. Calf raises on the other foot. You only need to do a few here because it instantly got much more difficult. Good. All right, next let's get into the squat. So nice wide stance with the squat. Wider the better, all right? Well, not wider the better, but just when in doubt, go a bit wider, all right? And we're just gonna bend the knees a bit. You can have your chair here, or I kind of like it just right in front of you, just so if you get too deep, you can sort of push yourself out of it. And I just want you to go to that depth that's right for you. Some of us might just be going down the smallest bit and coming back up, and that's totally fine. You're still gonna get strength out of that. Or others might be going down into a deeper squat. The deeper the squat, it's just important that your knees still continue to point outward, all right? We wanna make sure that the knees are not coming in at all. We don't want the knees collapsing. And with the back, my back is gonna be nice and straight as if a pole is coming out of my head. And so I'm just going straight down, straight up. You can think of, as you're coming up, like pushing through your heels is another kind of memory tool to remember how to squat correctly. Making sure to still focus on the breath, in through the nose and down into the belly. All right, excellent. So we still have some time. Let's get into a bit of boxing. So as to get the heart rate up. And today we're gonna be doing, we typically end with 15 seconds of intense kind of left, right, left, right, left, right punching. But today let's try to do 2 bouts, all right? So we'll do a 2-minute and 15-second boxing, shadow boxing, but we'll have 2 bouts of 15 seconds where it's intense. Right? And I'll warn you about that. Okay, so let's review some of the principles. We've got our stance here, 1 foot in front of the other. Our hands are up next to our cheeks, and we've got our jab, okay? The jab with the left arm going forward, all right? You can sort of have got a little bounce in my step. My knees are slightly bent, and I'm just punching straight forward at the camera. And you've got your cross, which crosses your body. You have a little bit of a twist there with the cross. Good. And now we've got our hooks. The elbow comes up and we're hooking across. All right, this is much more of a twisting motion. Elbows nice and high. And then we've got our uppercuts. And the uppercut, you really have a little squat first, and then you uppercut. So squat, and then you go up. Squat, and then up. This is where we start to maybe getting a little bit winded. And it's at this point where, again, focusing on the breath is key. So we've got all of the movements on the hands. I'm not as worried about your specific punches and if you've got the perfect technique on the hook, but the feet I'm more concerned about because it can help with you with balance. So if I want to step left, I start with my left foot. My right, left follows. It's always the front foot that steps forward, the right foot that steps right, the back foot that steps back. All right? And this will make sure that my feet never cross. My footwork this way is still quite wide, all right? It's sort of the same principle when it comes to my squat, where I've got this sort of stance where I'm wide feet. My feet are never gonna be coming up too close together where I'm gonna be feeling off balance. But I want you in this, the round of shadow boxing, to really be making sure that you're moving around the room, all right? As much as you can, however much space you've got, so making sure you have a cleared space. Left and right, good. Do a couple little shuffles where they sort of have these mini stances. Excellent. And now it's going to be a matter of combining it. So doing a few punches, moving around the room, doing a left and right. All right, left and right. And maybe you want to go for a few combinations, a left, right, left hook, right hook. It's all about being creative, all right? So left, right, and the hooks and the crosses and the uppercuts. I know there's a lot now going on, but just taking it one at a time. And I'm much more concerned on the footwork than I am with the punches, okay? And at the end of the day, we're just trying to get that heart rate up. And this is just a fun way to do it. It's a bit of a challenge. It's a bit of a coordination issue. So, excellent. All right. So let's put 2 minutes and said 15 seconds. 2 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock. I said we're gonna do 2 bouts of those high intense. And when we do those high intense, all right, it's like we've got our opponent up against the ropes and we're just wailing into them for 15 seconds. I want you to try to go, instead of a 7 out of 10, see if you can go to an 8 out of 10 or maybe a 9 out of 10. It's a short amount of time, but can really help us get the heart rate up, but also control blood sugar. So that's why we're doing that kind of high intense activity. So you've got 2 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock. Let's get our hands up, get ready for the ring, get into the ring. And 3, 2, 1, ding, ding, ding. All right, moving up and down, making sure that you're getting the footwork kind of established first, and then throwing a few punches. Throwing a few punches. And again, it's on you. You can be as creative as you want. You don't have to try to follow along with me. You can just have that imaginary opponent in your room, and you're moving about. That's good. All right, we're 15 seconds in now. Maybe get a couple more punches in.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. I can hear Beverly groaning. Great work. All right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Again, just encourage you to keep moving. All right. Keep the focus on the footwork. All right. A still opponent. All right. You don't want to be a still opponent. You're going to be too easy of a target. All right. You got to move around the room. Move around the room. Keeping those hands up. All right. Good. 30 seconds in now. You guys got it. All right. And we're getting ready for our first set of this 15 seconds of kind of intensity. All right. You pace yourself now. We got 2 minutes, 15 seconds. So it's a longer bout. Great. All right, we're getting close to a minute. And it's gonna be a 5-second warning here. So in 5 seconds, we're gonna get ready for a left, right, left, right, left, right. All right, so in 5 seconds here, 3, 2, 1. Let's just go for it. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. We got our opponent up against the ropes. That's 10 seconds left. Keep going, keep going, keep going. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. All right, and we'll keep moving around now, all right? So the opponent's got out, he slipped away from us. And now we've got to recover, all right? So we're trying to recover a bit. Keep moving, keep punching. Don't get too tired now. Good. Excellent, guys. Almost through. 30 seconds left, all right? 30 seconds left. Keep moving those feet around the room. The jabs and the crosses. All right, 5-second warning for our next round of 15 seconds. This is gonna be the final 15 seconds. All right, so we're gonna get into it in 3, 2, 1, and just 5. Let's go, 15 seconds here. 10 seconds left. Keep going, wailing on him. He's up against the ropes. We gotta get all those points to win the round. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. All right. Let's cool down by starting with just shuffling to the left and to the right. All right. We're going to try to keep the toes pointed forward and just trying to strengthen the hip here now as we get into our cool down of our workout. All right. You might have a chair here or something like that just in case, but should be all right. Now, if you would like to challenge yourself a bit more with this, squat down a bit more into this shuffle, and you'll start to feel it more on the hips. If that might be too difficult, just standing up a bit taller, we'll make it less intense. And then my footwork, the rules still apply here on my footwork, where my feet are never coming too close together as I shuffle to the left and to the right. I want to maintain a good balance. And the closer my feet are together, the more wobbly I am. And I'm definitely not crossing my feet. I'm not doing anything crazy like this. I'm going to lose my balance. All right, good. Next, we're going to stay on the hip. We're going to do side leg raises to the left and to the right. you don't have to go crazy high with these leg raises. And ooh, I've turned this one into a balance exercise for myself. You can also just have the chair there where you're holding on, or you can have just one finger on the chair, or you can do a hover hand, or you can just do no hands. Just depends on your level of comfort and confidence. Good, all right. I'm moving on to the next side, but if you want to do a few more on that other side before you move on to the right side, go for it. You know, by all means, you don't have to follow along exactly. We're all gonna be at different levels. If you want to stop a bit earlier because you've kind of reached that 7 out of 10 in terms of difficulty, I want you to stop at that point. Ooh. I can never do as many on the other side. All right, last one for that one. Boy. All right. We're gonna go to standing on one leg now. Standing on one leg. Kind of finding the balance and then dropping in to a mini little squat here. Just the single leg squat. I've got my chair here just in case I lose my balance, but just maintaining the balance along with the strength exercise. It's just quite productive. That's why I love these, is you've got your balance to coordinate with. On top of that, you're building strength here in the leg. And I'm barely going down on these squats. So if you don't have great mobility, you can still do these and you can get a really good workout by just going down the tiniest bit and coming back up. All right, moving on to the other side because that leg is feeling it at the moment. Ooh, get my balance first. And just dropping down into the smallest little repetitions. And if you want to challenge yourself by going a little bit deeper, by all means, you can sort of go into that zone of uncomfortableness where you're going down into the unknown in terms of how far you can go. But if you have any pain, make sure that the range of motion on this exercise is not as important because you can clearly feel how difficult this exercise is. Good. And let's stay on this. Let's stay on the one leg, all right? And let's just try to hold it here, all right? Just balancing on one leg. My knee is always slightly bent, all right? It's never completely straight whenever I'm on one foot. So I'm just gonna hold my balance. And if you're not feeling this sort of wobble like I'm doing, and if you're going, you know, you're really good at this at the moment, I want to challenge you by asking you to look slightly up in the room and then look slightly down and slightly looking left and right. The further you look left and right, up and down, the more challenging it becomes. So you can look diagonally up and to the right, but the whole time I've got at least the chair here in case I lose my balance, and look diagonally down to the ground and up to the other side. Whew. And then you can switch whenever you're ready. I just like to keep my chair on the side where my leg is. Good, so I'm gonna start by just getting my balance and then challenging myself by looking up a bit and down a bit. And maybe looking up and down is too difficult. So you can just gaze with your eyes without moving your head, and that will start messing with your balance as well. But if you're wobbling like I am, you're doing it right, okay? If you're not wobbling, you're not challenging yourself enough. And you want to push yourself into the world of uncomfortable. You want to get a bit uncomfortable, but not into a place where you're fearful or scared of falling down. So it's quite nuanced there. Ooh. All right. So we've got 2 more exercises and then just a bit of balance, and then we're done. So full workout today. We're gonna do the lunge, all right, getting into our lunge position. So the chair is really close to my front leg. I take the back leg back, and then I just wiggle back, really until my front knee is directly over my ankle, all right? If the knee is too far over the ankle, it can put a bit of pressure here and on your knee. And then once we're there, we're just gonna drop down into a few mini repetitions into this lunge. Got my upper body nice and tall. A lot of us will kind of lean forward, just lean back a bit, keeping the upper body straight. And then whenever you reach that 7 out of 10, which I just did, you can switch to the other side. Again, keeping the front knee really close to that chair, wiggling the back leg back, until that knee is directly over the ankle. Getting a good stretch here as well, feeling it up in the, it's the hip flexor muscle. And then dropping down into a few mini repetitions. You don't need to take the knee to the ground at all, just slightly up, slightly down. Breathing through this one. Good. All right, last strength training exercise. It's the single leg bend over, all right? We're gonna be strengthening the hamstring. So I'm gonna be again up on one leg, and you can have your hands rest on the chair in front of you, or you can try to keep it off where you have no, your hands are off the chair, you have hover hands. I'm gonna start in this sort of leaning forward position, and I'm just gonna drop down a bit, leaning more forward, and then coming back up to center. All right, and leaning more forward, and then back to that forward leaning starting position. And this will keep my hamstring under tension the whole time during this exercise, really building strength in the back of my leg. It's as if you're like reaching for something, and then coming back. I've got one more in me before I'm ready to switch sides. You can really feel it all the way from your glutes down to your, through your hamstrings, and you'll also feel it on your lower back. So it's a great strengthening exercise for the lower back. Again, we start in this forward leaning position here, and slowly going down and coming back up. Just going through, I guess, less of a range of motion, but if you want to go further down to challenge yourself more, where you feel like it's a 90-degree angle, where you're basically parallel to the ground, you can do that as well. It's just a matter of where you are at with your ability level. You may also just be right here, going down a bit. You're still going to feel it in the glute and the low back. So don't be too upset if you can't go very, very low into this exercise. Last one for me. Whew. Yeah. Full body workout. And that's all we've got for today. Excellent.